Hello, this is Paul Elliott from CAF-News, and with me is Michal from Mytek. Actually, he's Mr. Mytek, and he is going to let us know what he is going to bring to Capital Audiofest 2022. So take it on, Michal.
Hello, Paul, and everybody, especially all future attendees of the Capital Audiofest, which is one of our favorite shows that actually happens in the East Coast when we are located in Brooklyn. So it's an easy show for us. We drive to DC and do a great show. And apparently this year, the show is biggest than ever. And there will be a lot of new exciting stuff following all the R&D that happened in pandemic. A lot of new stuff, including Mytek. Mytek will have an entirely new product line. And this time are streamers. We basically moved from doing only DACs to the full-blown streamers, and have licensed the Room platform to be the power to power our streamers and combine them with our great DACs in one box in 3 product lines. In the top of the line is the Empire that you see behind me here, shown together with 2 new GaN-fed monoblocks that I'm also gonna talk about a little later. We also will have a Manhattan Bridge streamer and Brooklyn Bridge streamer in appropriate lower budget ranges. And I wanna say that this is a very big deal for us because we essentially moved from being a DAC only company to be also a company that makes streamers and basically all the software related stuff. And there is a lot of room for innovation. So in all these new products, you will see a lot of new things, the same amazing studio quality Mytek sound, and a lot of new innovations, including actually a possibility of shaping the DAC sound quality. Mytek was established by me in 1992 in New York City when I worked at the recording studio called Skyline Studios, following time in another studio called Hit Factory. And basically I was involved at that time in music production and studio recordings, and I designed equipment to facilitate the early digital recording era in 1992 and later in the 90s. And generally, that's where I started working on digital to analog audio converters and analog to digital audio converters that were used for basically for recording. So I have since designed probably about 50 different models of DACs. And what you see here is pretty much the culmination of all this work, all this experience over last 30 years in those boxes that we are putting now. So this is the Empire behind me is the best DAC we ever made, and it's truly fantastic. It includes an innovation that we called HAT, or HAT. It stands for harmonic audio tuning. And basically, it's a method of manipulating the analog output of the DAC to create a different content, a harmonic content for the DAC. So essentially, in the Empire, in terms of simply playback through the DAC, you can shape the DAC sound. You can have the precise sound, you can have normal sound, you can have warm, warmer yet, and very warm sound, depending on what you like to have. Other than that, the DAC has a gigantic sound stage, 3-meter deep, or 5 meters, or 5 yards, or 10 feet deep. And it's really, really amazing in terms of precision, but also musicality and just general experience. You hear things that you never hear before. So we're gonna show this streamer being powered by Room operating system. operating exactly the way everybody familiar with Room understands, connected to two brand new monoblocks that are actually Class D GaN FET-based monoblocks. And those amplifiers are very, very special. They are unlike any Class D before. They sound like tubes. And to underscore that, we put there some tube imitation valves on top of the chassis to basically suggest that that's how they sound, the way they look. So this is the flagship setup that will feature in the Madison Room at the show. And other than that, we'll also be showing the smaller Brooklyn Bridge streamer, which seems to generate a lot of interest, basically because of the budget and features. It's a relatively affordable streamer, but yet with all the fantastic features of Roon and Mytek DAC sound quality. And we also have some offering for headphone aficionados. We have a headphone amp. We have a smaller Liberty DAC 2. And we also have a smaller amplifier for the Bridge series. All this you will be able to see at the Madison Room and the ground floor of the hotel. I maybe wanted to pick up a little bit on the sound quality theme and why people appreciate the sound quality we do. I mentioned this early experience at recording studios when we were actually making the converters for sound recording, and we still do. A lot of mastering engineers in the recording industry use our converters. They are very much appreciated precisely for the same reasons why audiophiles appreciate the DACs. They basically can pass the smallest details without changing them much. Our converters are very transparent, honest, and they basically show what's recorded or capture what needs to be recorded very well. And that goes for another aspect of this is also that we always were very, very forward thinking in terms of sound quality and in terms of formats, types of sampling. So we were one of the first companies to actually work with DSD. Our story with DSD started in 2002 when we did a commission for Sony and designed studio two-track hard disk recorder that was basically meant to be used for direct to track DSD mixing and recording. And since then we were supporting DSD, and Empire, for example, is capable of doing 512 DSD. We still support it and we like this format very much. We were also the first company that introduced MQ, the third-party company that incorporated MQA decoder in 2015. The Brooklyn DAC was actually the first one to have the MQA encoder decoder built in, other than the Meridian decoders. And Empire, there is also a lot of this forward-looking digital conversion technology. For example, there is an A to D converter inside the Empire that is able to capture the sound at 512 DSD or 768 PCM. And it can be, for example, used to record vinyl. So that feature is in the Empire as well. The DAC can play those formats also. So when you think about Mytek in terms of digital conversion, we support every possible format to the highest sampling rates and to the highest resolution of bits. In this case, all our converters are 32-bit, and all of this comes as a legacy from our professional experience from the last 30 years of working in the recording industry. There are numerous major albums that we often play as basically to just as a choice of music that were recorded actually with Mytek converters. What comes to mind, from the recent things, the last album of James Taylor was entirely Mytek. There is a couple of years ago, we had our DSD converters at Stevie Wonder's studio. And some of the songs from about 3-4 years ago were recorded with Mytek converters. And so there is a lot of appreciation in professional industry what we do. We, for example, Abbey Road Mastering has Manhattan DAC. They like it. They use it because it works in a professional environment. Essentially, the idea is that you want a DAC that lets you hear what's recorded on tape. You don't want it to be changed. You want to hear exactly how it was recorded.
Again, everybody remember Capital Audiofest, November 11th, 12th, and 13th. Michal will be there with all the Mytek in the Madison Room. It's actually, the ground floor is the 3rd floor, but that's the floor you come in on off the street. You'll register at the front desk, and then you'll have at it towards the back of the hotel and to the left, I believe. And Michal will be there with all these fine products, especially the new Empire streamer and monoblocks. Can't wait to see them and hear them. Thank you, Michal.
You're welcome, and we'll see you all in Washington.
Okay.
Exciting. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.